Live. Hello, hello, whoever is out there. Hey guys, it's Janeen, human design coach and author of this here Substack, um, Surviving the New Paradigm. Here with you again today. Actually, I shouldn't say again. I really only have done a couple of lives. Chose to do it this way today. Your frequency forecast about the next sun transit on video because I'm feeling like pretty pretty exhausted and banged up. How are you guys holding up with this onslaught of crazy shit that's going on? The Of course, the press conference just broke, that Trump announced federal the National Guard in DC. This has me pretty rattled. I've got family there. It's a lovely place. We go 4 or 5 times a year. If you haven't been, I mean, I don't know who hasn't been to the Capitol, but um, when I go, I see a lot of people playing frisbee and visiting the zoo and going out to brunch. There's a lot of people, very, very highly educated people there, and a lot of wonderfully rich communities and I mean, when I say rich, I mean culturally rich and vibrant and active. Everybody's always making good use of green spaces. Yeah, there's homelessness, as in every major American city. So I'm very, very frightened for what's going to happen. Needless to say, we are pushing forward and we are staying grounded and we are embracing the highest possible potential of vibration that is available to us in the air day by day. And more importantly, dialing into the highest vibration that we carry, that we can possibly achieve based on the unique makeup energetically of what we carry inside of us. So, you want to look at your human design chart for that. It's chock full of codes, right? That tell you what all your superpowers are. And then you start to digest them one at a time. You reflect upon them. You contemplate, what does this number mean? What does this shape mean? How can I use that? Because it's a superpower, right? So, yeah, I decided to share today's the sun shifted positions again today relative to where we are on planet Earth. Early, on the East Coast, so that was about 3 o'clock in the morning my time. We shifted into Gate 4, and as I said, I just not got the mojo to do the writing today. I don't want to sit down and do a whole deep dive. I feel like the last 6 weeks or 8 weeks I've been doing like all the planets, and I don't have the mojo for that. And I don't know if that's really landing. So I'd love to hear if folks have an opinion about that, because I feel like there are a lot of astrologers out there talking about this stuff too, and they're covering it very, very well. um, I love to dial into the specific gate numbers because that gives me something more to really get my teeth around. Because you know Neptune and Saturn are in Aries. Well, yeah, but like what specifically? Oh, gate 25. Oh, in the fourth line. Oh, I get it. I get it. That works for me, but I'd love to hear if that's helping out you guys. But anyway, Sun has transited again. As I said, we're now in gate 4. Um, I am not. Um, maybe what I can do is add the. Oh, I don't know if I can do a picture. I'm not knowledgeable enough about how these lives go to waste your time to figure out how I can pull up the image of it where it's located on the chart. You're going to look at the Ajna Center, which is also called the mind, and that's the second triangle down from the very top. So you've got your crown chakra sort of business going on up here, the head center. This is all about a direct connection to the divine. And then you want to look at the second triangle down, which is sort of the um, third eye, the pituitary, the part of your body that is the part of the mind that is engaged with reason uh, answers, needing to formulate some sort of a hypothesis. It's where the ajna center is where we derive our beliefs and opinions. This is where we have logic and thinking taking place, where it's more, I guess there's the difference between the crown and the ajna are sort of like right brain, left brain. So the crown being sort of like this open to awe and wonder and inspiration, and thoughts and ideas can pop in from from anywhere, where the ajna is this resource of computation and analysis and reason, right? So the all the numbers inside of that area have to do with some kind of logic, and they're very visual. And so, like, if you have a lot of definition in that region, you're probably a really visual thinker. Um, Specifically, however, that four, the number four that's lit up in the chart there is illuminated and activated in all of us right now. And this is August 11th, and this will continue to take place through August 16th. Really, really late in the day, like just after midnight or just before midnight, I think. And then we'll be on to gate 29. So that will shift us out of the head, out of the mind, and out of the head center, and into the sacral. So we won't get there though, just yet. So let's talk about what the heck is this gate for, and how is this going to be influencing us, influencing what we're seeing in the news, people around us, our family members, the world. So gate four, being activated by the sun, is the energy of, it's called it's called the gate of answers, or youthful folly, which is a funny name, but I'll explain that in a second. It's also called formalization. So this is really, really the spot that has a knack for spitballing. This is the person, if you have this defined, you probably have an answer for everything. You're good at spitballing, at coming up with a hypothesis, at coming up with a reason that explains away everything, even if you're totally not right. And that can be really fun. You can be very expansive. You can be very innovative. You can play the what if game all day long and never lose. You can be extraordinarily creative in the way that you think. You can come up with all sorts of explanations and answers for basically anything. So check out where it's reaching toward if you are looking at your chart. It reaches upward into gate 63 in the crown center. So as I said before, the crown center is that area for awe and wonder and inspiration and ideas. It is the pressure to know. It's the pressure to ask really big questions, and to even know what questions to ask. But gate 63 specifically, which four answers is reaching toward and connected to, 63 is the gate of doubt or suspicion or after completion. It is always suspicious of everything. And so it is always wondering, is this really true? Can I trust this? Something ain't right. I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to turn over every stone until I get the answer. And so gate four down there in the ajna is just like juggling. It's just like, is it this? Is it this? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? How about we try this? How about I say this? And so it's a constant brain dump of postulating and just manufacturing, turning ideas into logic. It is the channel of logic. The 63-4 is the channel of logic. So, oh, hi, how are you, Nanaverse? Thanks for chopping in. So this is all activated in us today. Now, the youthful folly part is kind of funny, because this is gate 4 is what I call the Cliffy Clavin of all of the gates in the human design system. So if you don't know that reference, Cliff Clavin was the mailman character on the TV show Cheers from the 80s and 90s, I guess. And so he always had an answer for everything. He was a walking encyclopedia. He knows all the trivial facts about everything, and he would bore the shit out of people with those facts. But people didn't necessarily ask him for everything he knew. He just would start spewing little factoids and answers. We don't know if he was right. He may have been making stuff up all along, but we don't know. And that is so quintessential Gate 4. It's just somebody who really just tells you what they think they know as though it's God's honest truth. It can be, like I said, it can be really fun and playful. It's like it is childlike, and I think it's even funnier when I think about Cliff Clavin. He lived with his mother. He never dated. He was very infantilized by his mother. He wore his little postal uniform was like the pants were too short, so they were like floods. He hadn't like he in his mind he really hadn't like grown up into like, well, I guess that's not fair. He was a grown man, but you catch my drift. So he was youthful in that there's an innocence in the mindset that is like, hey, maybe this is true. Maybe this is right. I'll just say this. But the hard part with the Gate 4 and what I think we all really need to watch out for is that it's convinced it's right. And so this can be a difficult sometimes person to be around. That we're going to hear a lot of blowhards. I mean, we already do all the time. Look at this man. He just stood on the podium and whatever made these outrageous claims that DC is this, cesspool of crime, and it's not. He's got an answer for everything. I'll have to check. Let me see. I bet you he has Gate 4 defined. I know he has Gate 4 or Gate 11. I'm talking about Trump in case you're, just joining us. Where's his chart? I wish I knew how to share images on these lives because I just don't know technology. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't have 4. But that's the funny bit, right? Like that's the funny part about when we don't have the gate defined. Those are the parts of us that we think aren't enough and that we should be more like that. And so we can overcompensate. We can look around at our friends and family members who might have this or that Gate 4 defined, and we'll think, wow, gee, I really am not very good at innovative thinking like they are. I better work harder I better um be more willing to open up and share my ideas. Yeah, sure. That's great. Yeah, sure. Spitball, jump in, hypothesize, give us what's on your mind. What are you thinking? What are you coming up with? But the high vibe part of this is to remember and to embrace the fact that you can't know everything. You might be wrong. This isn't necessarily right. You're just spitballing. There's, when I taught preschool and I was with a bunch of 4-year-olds all day, and they could tell some humdingers of the way that their little minds are logicking through stuff that they just can't possibly understand. They're children, right? And so they come up with these uh, just fairy tale perceptions and concepts of like how they understand the world, and that's good enough for them to just like get through the day, right? So like for example, and I just came across a letter. I was cleaning out some crap this weekend, and some memorabilia came in this box, and there was a letter that my daughter had written to the tooth fairy. And it was, "Dear Tooth Fairy, if you're real, could you please wake me up because I'd like to meet you," and so on, and let's hang out, and then you can put me back to sleep with your magic fairy dust or whatever you do. Um, on and on like that, right? So that is like the children, this youthful folly is children are spitballing ideas to make sense and logic through their every moment of every existence. And we all fucking do this, right? Whether you have Gate 4 or not, especially this week, because we're all under the influence of this. So please just be cautious about what you're hearing. I would recommend taking everything with a grain of salt. I wish that I could assume that most everyone is going to use all of their energetic traits that are in their body in the highest expression, right? But that simply is not the case, or we wouldn't be where we are, right? So I would err on the side of caution and just be suspicious. Reach for that where 4 is reaching toward that gate 30 or 63 up in the head center, the gate of suspicion. Be be discerning about what you're hearing, because people are just going to be like windbags this week. That's what I think. And that's what I see. I mean, I no shade on the people who have gate 4. Like, they're hilarious and they're really, really creative thinkers. And that's how we need to honor them and celebrate them and help them see themselves, because the hard part for them is that this energy is what's called projected, which means it's you need to be invited, like a projector in human design, energy type wise. Any projected energies must be invited in before they are really heard, accepted, and understood, and welcomed. Because people and projectors will tell you this, like, they go about their business of sharing the big vision that they see about what's wrong in the world and what could be better, and how this person is just hitting a wall, and you could do it better if you just did it my way, if you just listen to me. And unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. They can correct people all day long, and they will just create resentment around them. The same thing is true for any projected channel or gate in the system, and 4 is one of them. And so someone can spitball answers all day long. They won't be received or heard or appreciated or understood or adopted as being viable, or they won't be taken seriously until they can demonstrate that they have a good track record of spitting off truths and sharing really truly logical answers that help humanity forward. They must have a proven track record for that, and then the gate 4 person gets the invitation to share, like, oh, you were right last time. I really like the way you think. How did you come up with that idea? Can you share what's on your mind again? Like, what, give us, oh, I'm feeling very confused about something. What do you think? What's your analysis? What's your rationale? How do you see this playing out? And then the gate 4 is like, well, I'm so glad you asked. Cliffy Clavin walks in the room and starts dumping all this trivia out, right? And that's another thing about, like making that connection to Cliff Clavin is like, um, with the projected thing is like, that you would see the other characters, Norm and Sam and Woody or whoever, would just roll their eyes when he started talking again, because he would bore them. But it takes event, but you need the moment that you need some kind of random factoid, then, like, he's who you want on your team. You want him at the pub quiz, you want him for his depth and wealth of knowledge, and his ability to retain things, and to come up with really creative answers. So that's what we're looking at this week. Again, thanks for bearing with me through some really, really long written posts. I just don't have it in me. I've been really, really dragging my feet with, I think, just the state of the universe, the state of the world. Um, it's been an onslaught, and I definitely feel a shift. I mean, in myself, I don't know where things are going to shift and land for me, but I do feel like I'm at a place, and maybe you're feeling the same, where there's like a sort of a purgatory, or a that calm pool in a river where there's like it's almost a dam. There's a calmness before a rapid, so there's like something's on the precipice. Something's gonna shift for me, and I don't know what that is. But I do want to put a bug in your ear and a reminder that um we are evolving right now. um I have not talked much about the 2027 evolution. There's a post that I wrote about it a month or two ago. Um, and it is my intention to break down gate by gate what is shifting for humanity. Um, and but I'm still doing some like deep analysis myself and reflection and thinking about what will be changing. But I do want to just give you that gentle reminder that this season of chaos that we are living through is something that there's a very real possibility that our spirits chose this. I think often about cutting cutting ties and running and relocating and moving to another country, and then I think to myself, well, I chose to be here. Do I want to run away? um how do I keep my children safe in the meantime? But yeah, lots to think about there. But our bodies are being mutated. The whole thing about human design is that the humanity is mutates over time. And this is one of the big um I guess takeaways or lessons is that, the individual mutates first, and then the tribe follows, and then the collective follows. And so some of us are being mutated from the inside out. Individuals who are leading the way and showing, hey, this isn't so scary. Hey, this doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be destructive. We can use different tools and methods to assist us and support us in this shift. And I think reaching for the highest vibration of each and every one of your superpowers is the way to go, because so often we've been told that our personality traits, which is energy, are to be shamed, are to be hidden, are to be corrected. But I say bullshit. Most of who you be, everything that you came into your body with, not most, all, all of your traits have a absolutely expansive and wonderful and radiant expression. And we just aren't taught. Our culture, our religions, our values, our rules and regulations about what's expected of children, especially schools, behavior, attitudes. We have so much of our radiance, of our goodness, just shamed right the hell out of us from a really early age. And so my goal is to help people get that back. I'm not get your shame back, get your radiance back. One little teeny tiny piece of your human design at a time. I think it's a great tool. It's a great map to show us how fucking genius we really are. So let's claim it. A quick note on staying grounded through this transit, where you are going to be hearing a whole lot of spitballing and a whole lot of people sounding real certain about that their answer is right. Um, you know, I would say, try to just grin and bear it. Take everything with a grain of salt. Don't waste your breath and your energy getting into arguments with people who are just not going to be able to ever see eye to eye or change their minds. Show that you can be a good listener, and that you can be someone who's willing to entertain various different hypotheses and explanations. And maybe there will be some really great gems that come out of this week. Maybe we will hear some viable answers. So just be curious. Get curious and try to be non-judgmental, because that's really the overarching goal in the highest expression, highest of gate 4, is to reach that height of saying, I don't know everything. We can have fun with coming up with answers, but I'm never going to know it all. I'm just engaging in possibility, and that's all this is. But there comes with that a willingness to admit and accept the truth that like other people are also doing the same damn thing. And so I'm not going to judge them for it. I'm not going to tell them that they're stupid or wrong or insist that I'm the right one. It's there's a real softness and a compassion for just how hard it is to be a fucking human with this one that's potential, that's possible. So if you find yourself getting frustrated or annoyed with how staunchly, I would say, especially children, you might hear some real humdingers if you're a parent and you're raising kids. You might hear kids really insisting that they're right and that you stupid parents, you don't know nothing. Which just be patient, be really patient, and practice tolerance because it could get interesting. Um, But as I said, the grounding force of gate 4, so while gate 4 is up here coming from the sun, what's really anchoring it at the opposite is 49, and 49 is the gate of principles slash the gate of revolution, and this one is in our emotional. No, is it emotional? Sorry. You know what? Sometimes when I'm getting on the head center and then I'm like, wait, yeah, it's in our emotional center, and it is all about staying staying on setting the principles for the group. Like, here are the rules that everyone's going to adhere to and follow and agree to. This will be fair, this will be just, this will be supportive of everyone in the tribe, this will be this will make sure that you are cared for, this will make sure that you are loved. And as long as you follow the rules, and if you don't follow the rules, you're getting out. We're kicking your ass out. It is a can be a very decisively rejecting kind of energy, or it can be like a conservative, um, like a staunch fatherly sort of male type of energy. That's like, these are the expectations. You better follow the rules, and if you don't, we're not going to love you anymore. You got to leave. But in the highest expression of that is an ability to say, but wait a second, this actually isn't just for everyone. I recognize now that these rules are outdated and they need to be updated, and we need to change something so that they're fair for everybody around us, and that we are perhaps being a little bit too harsh, and we haven't the expectations that we have set have not taken into consideration maybe everybody that's a part of the group, and we do still see value in the other people in the group. So it's an awareness around like the old guard being needing to let go, or we need to let go of that. And I can't tell you how often I hear that these days, about how our system, our democracy is just is it was never built to include everybody. And so while we've all been loyal to the Constitution and, pledging allegiance, a lot of more people are waking up to the fact that like, wow, this actually has not served large swaths of our population. And so where, the fucking taco is over here trying to kick people out, he's trying to rid the entire homeless population from DC. And what's he going to do? Round them up and send them to concentration camps? I don't know. And he's going to be calling people criminals who aren't criminals. I know this. Um, that's him on a tirade of his like 49 is going crazy. He doesn't have that defined either, but he is highly influenced by the energy for like, I'm setting the rules and everybody's going to follow them or else I'm kicking you out. But the like, let's not ground into that. Let's not use that as our grounding force for stability this week. dial into the higher expression, which is like, I recognize it's time for massive, massive change. And so that's where the gate of revolution comes in here. Support it. That's a supportive grounding energy. So if you feel you're spinning out, remember, like, things do need to change. This is hard as shit. This is ugly what we're going through, but we really, really do need um, a change that's going to be inclusive of all the people who are involved. And we cannot stick to the old rules. They're just not working. So just kind of remind yourself that, like, write yourself a little post-it and put it on your mirror that says, like, I can ground into the ability, it stabilize myself by remembering, like, this change is necessary and it's all part of evolution. And that's helping us to move forward so that we can build something better that's actually just for the betterment of all humanity. All right, with that, I'm going to sign off. And it's funny when you're doing a live, like, I don't even know how to shut this down. How do we shut it down? All right, you guys, I hope you have a blessed day. Um, and oh, there it is. There's a biggie. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. Hang in there and be discerning about what you hear. Share with me, send me a message or a DM or post or a comment or something that says, like, what humdingers you're hearing this week. I'll be interested to know, and I'll have my ears open too. All right. Thanks so much for being here. Take care.